Boycott Asian businesses.
They have a right, like they have an absolute right, because we do have rampant anti-Black racism.
As Asian Americans, we have a responsibility to confront anti-Blackness wherever it exists, including within our community.
Anti-Black racism needs to be addressed and have those uncomfortable conversations within our communities.
Anti-Blackness is holding us back. And honestly, even we've made shit worse at times by continuing to peddle these stereotypes and continuing to buy into the model minority myth.
You should not feel offended when Black people, Black communities are trying to find solutions for things that unfortunately Asian communities just fall flat on.
I don't want to be your enemy. I understand you guys are upset and you want to boycott Asian run businesses. Totally fair.
I have no problem with Black people boycotting Asian businesses in their communities and putting their Black dollar into their own communities. I support that.
Just a reminder to other Asians, when the Black community says that they're going to boycott Asian businesses, that's not them being racist. They're literally just asking us to give them the respect that they rightfully deserve. There's a lot of anti-Blackness in the Asian community, and I'm sick of seeing it. We're all sick of seeing it. And the Black community knows that all Asians aren't racist. It's just that these Asian businesses need to be reminded that they literally profit off of the Black community.
Finally, Asian Americans are beginning to understand the motivation behind the boycotts of their businesses in America. These boycotts are not rooted in racism or anti-Asian discrimination, but rather represents Black Americans' demands for respect. Respect for their communities, their experiences, and their sacrifices. Many Black Americans feel disrespected and stereotyped by some Asian American shop owners, who they say have portrayed them as criminals. This shared grievance has mobilized many Black Americans to stand together and take action. The boycotts of Asian American businesses reflect a collective response, and I'm sitting here very interested in talking about this topic. I want y'all to watch these following clips and let me know what you think about them. And at the end, I will come back and help y'all to connect the dots. If you find it interesting, click on the like button.
I am speaking specifically to the Asian community right now. We need to stop pretending like anti-Blackness does not exist in our community, as if it's not a problem, because it is. We see it in the stereotypes that get repeated in our homes, in the way some people talk about Black communities, the excuses people make when Black people are harmed, and in the silence that follows when accountability is needed. The response for some Asian Americans for the killing of Cyrus Belton has been deeply disappointing. Instead of centering a 14-year-old Black child who lost his life, some people rushed to defend Rick Chow, justify the shooting, or shift blame onto Cyrus himself. That should disturb all of us. We cannot keep demanding solidarity from other communities when anti-Blackness within our own community goes unchallenged. We cannot talk about the racism Asian Americans face while refusing to acknowledge prejudice that exists in our own families and social circles. The model minority myth has convinced some Asian Americans that proximity to whiteness will protect us all. It will not. That myth was created to divide communities of color and to encourage us to see ourselves as separate from the struggles of Black Americans. When we buy into that mentality, we become participants in a system that harms all of us. Accountability is not anti-Asian. Calling out anti-Blackness is not anti-Asian. Using to excuse harmful behavior because the person involved is Asian is not anti-Asian. It is the bare minimum. If we are serious about justice, then we need to be willing to confront uncomfortable truths about our own community. That means challenging anti-Black comments when we hear them. That means rejecting stereotypes. That means listening when Black people tell us about their experiences. And that means recognizing that solidarity is a commitment. It is not a slogan that you wear, that you can just slap on whenever you want. Cyrus Belton deserved to grow up. He deserved to be safe. He deserved better than the assumptions and the fears that ended his life.
I remember 6 years ago, a then Yale student, Eileen Huang, published an op-ed in which she explicitly called out our community's refusal to speak out against the systemic injustices that Black Americans have been facing in this country for centuries. And this op-ed went viral in the WeChat parent groups. Not for a damn good reason though, because the responses overwhelmingly were along the lines of, oh, your parents sacrificed so much, how could you say this against your own people? Basically framing the author as a traitor against their own community for speaking out against a very valid problem. Now keep in mind, these people are professionals, PhDs, people who have been experts in their fields for decades, yet at the same time, not being able to hold two truths at once and immediately getting defensive. You can speak out against the anti-Asian racism and violence that people have faced in our community for centuries while also recognizing that the Asian American identity is built upon being settlers in this country, a country that's fundamentally built upon the theft of indigenous land and the exploitation of black and brown bodies and labors since its foundation. You can be part of a community, love it, and be proud of your heritage, while also being able to criticize its flaws and wanting it to change for the better. Because being a full member of a community is not blindly defending it. That's tribalism. Being part of a community is being able to recognize and speak out against its flaws so that it can become a better community built upon love. We spend so much fucking time debating Wasian meetups or the definition of ABGs, but when it comes to the shit that actually matters in today's world, mass surveillance, police brutality, genocide, deportation that ultimately affects us as well, we are fucking nowhere to be seen. We have not shown up. Consistently, we have not shown up. We have so many people in this digital world with influence and with a platform, and yet we have no collective sense on how to effectively combat anti-blackness in our community. That's fucking absurd. Because the more we talk about, oh, it's us versus them, it's red versus blue, that's where the people in power want us to be. And they have us exactly where they fucking want us to be. Because the more we talk about this shit, the further we get from recognizing that it's actually top versus bottom, from actually building class consciousness, let alone class solidarity, which is what we desperately need right now. So anyways, holy shit. But we have to do better. We have not shown up.
Asian people should not feel offended when black communities say that they are going to boycott Asian businesses and focus on black-owned businesses. In response to Cyrus Belton's murder, there is literally nothing that I can really think of that can really mitigate that other than just depending on their own communities. If Asian communities cannot prove themselves to be safe spaces for black communities, then of course they're going to go where their community is more likely going to be safer. I am not going to sit here and pretend that anti-blackness does not run deep into Asian communities and that is not still very much apparent in today and the way that the conversation about black people in in Asian communities exists. There is no way that we can just ignore it, which is why as an Asian person we need to allow these communities to build their own, because we have showed them time and time again that we cannot be dependent on for them. And that is why as an Asian person I cannot feel offended for any reaction that came out of the not guilty verdict.
I do acknowledge that many Asian people could be racist, and I condemn all races, regardless their ethnicities. Racism should not be accepted or tolerated. But not all of us are racist. I don't think I'm racist. I mean, I try not to be. I don't think I'm racist. I'm just Asian.
That little boy could have stolen 100 water bottles and he still wouldn't have deserved to be shot in the back. And the fact that that store owner was found not guilty, you can debate whether it was manslaughter or murder or whatever. It doesn't change the fact that that store owner has multiple shootings under his belt at other quote-unquote shoplifters. That man has clearly been itching to kill somebody, and he just got away with it. You don't chase someone 130 yards and shoot them in the back and then claim self-defense.
I personally believe Rick Chow should have been found guilty. At the very least, I don't understand why manslaughter was not an option. And what has been disappointing is seeing this conversation shift from the death of Cyrus Belton and toward whether the Black community should or shouldn't be boycotting Asian-owned businesses. A child has lost his life. A family lost their son, and people are grieving. And yet, people are more upset about the reaction than the tragedy that caused it. People are hurting, people are angry, This is a moment where we should be showing up as allies. We need to acknowledge a truth that so many Asian Americans refuse to acknowledge. So many of the rights, freedoms, opportunities that we enjoy today, it's because Black Americans fought for them first. We owe a debt that so many of us take for granted in this country. So before arguing about boycotts or anything else, Cyrus Belton should still be here. And as Asian Americans, this is an opportunity for us to come together and say what happened was wrong. We do not condone it. We do not support it. We stand against it. And we mourn the death of Cyrus Belton.
Look, I know many people are angry. They think justice needs to be served. So they want to boycott Asian businesses. I know emotions are high, and if this is how you think there's going to be some justice, okay, I'm okay with it. But then when does it end? When is it, okay, we've boycotted Asian businesses enough, justice is served, now let's move on.
Rest in power, Cyrus Belton, a young 14-year-old black boy who was gunned down over some water bottles by Rick Chow and Andy Chow, father and son Asian Americans. This happened 3 years ago, but the verdict happened recently where the father and son were found non-guilty. I'm not going to go into the case, and this video is not going to be educational. I'm emotional. I'm just very emotional because I'm Asian American. I want to zero in on the son because I watched the court hearing, and this motherfucker, this 23-year-old man, and he was 20 at the time when he chose to chase down this 14-year-old boy for 130 yards with his daddy. This fucking 23-year-old man was stuttering like he just woke up today and found out that this court hearing was happening. This has been 3 years for you to get your story straight. And it pissed me the fuck off. This whole thing was so tragic and sad. It all pisses you off. But this specific thing, when I was watching him stutter, I was like, this Andy Chow is the epitome of what happens when when us Asian Americans do not put in check our parents, put in check the anti-Black racism rhetoric, bigotry within our communities, whether it's in our circles, whether it's in other people's circles, when you just stay silent and let years of trauma, of mono minority type bullshit of this fucking white society, it's got you filling your pockets and anything over profit type shit. And then I've also been seeing comments from other Asian Americans being all like, not all of us Asian Americans are racist and bigots and bad. I don't know why, when you see a tragedy like this happen to a 14-year-old black boy, I don't know why your first knee-jerk reaction is that you want to get the target off of you. No one's saying that we all know, I think it's an unspoken thing that we all know, not fucking every Asian person is racist and bigot. But why is it that when the black community are grieving, are angry, are so tired of this thing that they deal with on a daily basis in this fucking country for eons, for decades, why is it that you, all of a sudden, the moment they say we need to boycott Asian establishments, why is it that your reaction is that, wait, that's gonna hurt my pockets? Oh my goodness. It's not all of us. I don't really have any answers for it. You know what I mean? I'm just grieving, and it hurts my heart a lot these past couple of days. Rest in power, Cyrus Belton, 14-year-old black boy. Yo, I looked at that picture of him with this little fucking AirPods in his ear. That is such a fucking kid thing to do. Too young.
Because I have been doing this for years, right? Have you been doing that before you decided to come online and post a video being like, oh, Black Americans are such hypocrites? Which they are not. They have a right. Like, they have an absolute right, because we do have rampant anti-Black racism. And before we are willing, like, we need to be willing to take accountability for that before we get to decide whether or not anybody should be boycotted. Also, it's not even our decision who gets to boycott. Our role, right? And everybody has different roles under systemic oppression, and something happens, is what can I do in solidarity instead of looking at this situation as an us versus them problem? If you're still looking at it from the lens of an us versus them problem, then you are on Rick Chow's side. And I know that people can say like, oh, well, you know what, like I have such a diverse spectrum of ideas and I see things differently. But when it comes to systemic oppression in a world that is made to be black and white, then if you are going to look at this boycotting situation as, oh, you shouldn't boycott us, why should we have to pay for the sins of this one guy? Like, that's not like the systemic playbook, right? Like, like when one person does harm, or even if it's a few people doing harm, right? Like if you think about like slavery in the South, even if it was just a few people, a few families running the whole thing, okay? The systemic issue is still the fact that everybody inherited these core belief systems about certain marginalized groups of people, and we are still perpetuating these ideas, right? Like the issue is that our ideologies are still there, right? And until we're able to address that, why are we even thinking immediately like, oh, actually, I'm going to argue about boycotting, when you should be looking at yourself in a mirror and being like, hey, I realize that I'm contributing, my community is contributing. How have I seen anti-Black racism manifest in Asian spaces? Like, why are these conversations so difficult to have? I don't know. But they need to be had, right? They exist. They exist. People are doing it, some people are not. But when it comes to the question of solidarity, are you for or against? And if you are for, then have the conversations first before you decide who gets to boycott if you are an Asian person.
As an Asian woman raised in Black American culture and is also raising 2 Black children of my own, I would like to talk about this Rick Choi situation. And first off, I would like to send my condolences to Cyrus's family and parents. I am so sorry for your loss. Now, if y'all do not know about this Rick Choi situation, I do recommend for you to go look up information on your own. I have watched everything and gathered everything, and here are my thoughts on it. The justice system has failed. South Carolina justice system has failed, and they have failed Cyrus. Now, if you guys go watch the video, if y'all don't know about the story, let me catch you up. The young boy, 14-year-old, went into a gas station to get some water. He was then accused by the gas station owners that he stole water. He left the store. The father, Rick Choi, and his son had proceeded to go out of the store to follow the young boy and shot him in his back. Rick Choi is recently found not guilty, and it was self-defense. I don't know about y'all, but getting shot in your back, how is that self-defense? How was that self-defense? There was no witnesses as far as the shooting. So the information that they presented to the court was that Cyrus had a gun on him, and supposedly he pulled it out and Rick Choi shot him in the back as self-defense. But how do you get shot in the back if you're turning around? It just doesn't make sense. It doesn't add up. Now the problem here is Rick Choi is found not guilty, right? Because of self-defense. And the thing is, in court, they are not allowed to bring up old cases. This isn't the first time that Rick Choi has shot somebody. This is the third time. But in court with the justice system, they are not allowed to bring up his previous information for the jury to have an idea of what kind of man Rick Choi is. Now, I don't know about y'all, but I've been raised in hood. My corner gas station in Capitol Heights, we got boosters all the time. We got people stealing all the time. The owner is not running out after the boosters to shoot them. The correct way to go is take a picture on the surveillance, post it up. This kid is wanted for shoplifting, isn't allowed to come here. Call the police. But to actually run out of a store with a gun to shoot a child over a bottle of water is insane. Now, I know a lot of Asians that are racist against Black people. I know that firsthand myself living life, but that doesn't mean all Asian people are racist. Now, when it comes to this Rick Choi situation, I feel like it's deeper than racism. That man got a trigger finger. He's trigger happy. He shot twice and got away with it for pleading self-defense. So the fact that he got away with shooting people twice, he's getting away with the third time, that's dangerous. That's dangerous. He's trigger happy. If you don't know anything about killers, once they get away with one thing, they just gonna keep doing it. Now, I also saw a video of Cyrus's mother breaking down for the injustice of her son and her crying how People are leaving nasty, nasty racist comments under her videos about her son, how he deserved to die, and all these racist comments. See, the thing is, y'all people on the internet is way too comfortable. Y'all way too comfortable to say anything out of your mouth. Y'all just way too comfortable on the internet, and it's just pure ignorance. This lady just lost her child. He's never coming back. He's a 14-year-old boy. Black people are saying they want to boycott all Asian businesses. I get it. Do what you feel like you need to do. But once again, not all Asian people are racist, are bad people. There are good people and bad people in this world, regardless of what race you are. And when it comes to Rick Choi, I feel like it is way deeper than racism. That man got away with way too much shit. And he is comfortable, and he knows that he's gonna win if he get a good lawyer, and that's exactly what happened. And that's exactly what we're in an uproar about, is the fact that we couldn't bring any of his past to the courtroom to prove that this man is a cold-blooded killer. That's my thought on this whole situation. Once again, my condolences to Cyrus's family. I don't think this is a fair verdict. And please be a kind human. Have some sympathy. Have a heart. Be kind. Because when you die and it's time for Judgment Day, remember, what kind of human were you? All right, bye, y'all.
First and foremost, rest in peace to Cyrus, and special recognition to all content creators whose clips were featured in this video. In recent times, a significant trend has emerged within the Black American community, the organized boycott of Asian American businesses. However, it is crucial to clarify what this movement represents. As many Asian Americans themselves have articulated, this is not an expression of anti-Asian discrimination. Rather, it stems from confronting the anti-Black racism that has become increasingly visible within segments of the Asian American community. The tragic death of Cyrus served as a catalyst, sparking justified anger and mobilization among Black Americans. This incident forced a broader conversation about systemic disrespect and discrimination that Black communities have experienced from some Asian American business owners and community members. The boycott is fundamentally a response to this documented pattern of mistreatment. As we've heard it, the critical issue that emerged in this discussion is the harmful model minority myth. This dangerous narrative has been deliberately weaponized to create division between Black Americans and Asian American communities. The myth falsely positions Asian Americans as inherently superior or more successful than Black Americans, suggesting a hierarchy of value among minority groups. This narrative was deliberately constructed to sow discord and redirect blame away from systemic racism by promoting the idea that Asian Americans have made it, while suggesting that Black Americans haven't. Those pushing this myth attempt to pit marginalized communities against one another rather than allowing them to recognize their shared struggles against systemic inequality. The core argument underlying the boycott is straightforward yet profound. If Asian American businesses are profiting from Black communities, drawing their customer base, their dollars, and their economic support from Black neighborhoods, then basic reciprocity demands respect. You cannot simultaneously extract economic benefit from a community while publicly disparaging, disrespecting, or talking down to its members. This represents a fundamental breach of social contract. Black American brothers and sisters are not asking for charity or special treatment as they say it. They are demanding basic human dignity and mutual respect. Their message is loud and clear. If you benefit from their community's economic participation, you must also respect that community. This is not racism. This is about accountability and reciprocity. When a business owner in a Black neighborhood stereotypes customers as criminals, implements discriminatory practices, and displays contempt for the very people sustaining their livelihood, they force a response. The boycott represents a legitimate form of economic leverage, one of the few tools available to communities facing discrimination. By choosing where to spend their money, Black Americans are exercising their consumer power to communicate an important message. Disrespect has consequences. This is not about punishment for punishment's sake, as they say it. You have heard them saying it in many clips. For those who have not watched my previous videos, they may go back and watch them. Black Americans have been saying that this is not about punishment for punishment's sake. It's an educational tool designed to create accountability and incentivize change in behavior and attitudes. In many countries around the world, when dialogue fails, economic pressure becomes a necessary language that businesses understand. The goal is not to destroy Asian American businesses, but to compare, respect, and force a reckoning with discriminatory practices. Many Black Americans engaging in this boycott hope it will serve as a wake-up call, prompting meaningful reflection and behavior change within Asian American business community. Many Black Americans who are practicing this boycott are hoping that this is gonna make many Asian American business owners wake up, then make them change their behaviors toward Black Americans. And as I always say, it's very important to recognize that not all Asians practice in anti-Black racism. There are many Asians who stand on the side of Black Americans, and today we're focusing on that part of the group. You heard them describing exactly what Black Americans want. They're describing the problems that many Black Americans are facing with. They are understanding the reasons why Black Americans are choosing the path of boycotting. They really understand the problems that the Black American community faces with. These individuals actively support Black Americans, celebrate Black achievements, and reject the divisive model minority narrative. They stand in solidarity during difficult times and demonstrate genuine respect and understanding towards their Black American brothers and sisters. These are the Asian Americans that the Black American community needs. Those willing to challenge racism within their own communities and build bridges across racial lines. They prove that the unity between Asian American and Black American community is possible and necessary. Now, this is a message to my Black American brothers and sisters. You have a responsibility to educate others about the nuances of this movement. You should not paint all Asian Americans with the same brush. Blanket condemnation is counterproductive and inaccurate. Instead, the focus should be on those who perpetuate anti-Black discrimination and those who actively work against it. The main goal of this boycott movement is not to divide Black Americans and Asian Americans. The goal is to send a wake-up call to the Asian community, telling them that they need to change their behaviors. They need to call out anti-Black racism within their own community. The goal is not permanent conflict. The goal is lasting change. A future where all communities in America will treat each other with dignity and respect. The boycott movement reflects Black Americans' legitimate demand for respect and accountability. By understanding its roots and nuances, we can move forward toward genuine healing and solidarity among all marginalized communities in America. To all viewers, Black Americans, Asian Americans, I want you all to tell me what you think about this boycott movement that is trending in America. Be open and share your opinions down there in the comment section. If you find this one helpful, don't forget to support us by clicking on that like button. If you'd like to watch more of our videos in the future, subscribe. Mr. TA, your African brother signing off. Ciao.